In the first part of this section, we solved for when the bunny and the cat would be the same weight by using a table and a graph. Now we're going to see how we would do that algebraically. So what you have here is the weight of the bunny. So if I know how many years have gone by, I multiply that by 3, and then I add 5, which was his starting weight. And this here is the weight of the cat. So I add 1 pound each year to 19. So what I know is that these two will be equal at some point, and that's what I'm going to do, is set them equal. One way I can do that is algebra tiles. If you remember those from earlier chapters, that's one way we know to manipulate algebraically. There's a tool here that you can use in the online book that's already set up for you. So I have 3x plus 5 on this side and x plus 19 on this side. I want to remind you that the way you work with algebra tiles is you can move them around. So I can move this x from one side to the other, but I have to remember to change it from positive to negative. So I do that by clicking. And then once I have a positive and a negative of the same value, I can remove them because they equal 0. So that's the same thing as subtracting x from both sides. So now what I want to do is subtract 1 from both sides. So I remove them for the 5s from this side. I remove them from this side, but I have to change them to negative when I flip them. So I'll do that with all of these 1s, and then I'll pair them up to make 0s. And then I'll figure out how many x's I have, how many 1s I have, and I might have to divide in the end. Going back to this problem, what we're going to do is solve for what year they're both the same weight. You can use the algebra tiles. You can solve it algebraically. But then the last thing we want to do is figure out how much they weigh at that time. So I'll go back to one of my equations. Let's do y equals 19 plus x. And what I'll do is I'll substitute, since we know the answer is 7, I'll substitute 7 for x. So y equals 19 plus 7. When I add 19 plus 7, I get 26. So y equals 26. So when x equals 7 years, y equals 26, which means the bunny and the cat both weigh 26 pounds.